Well, hello there, brothers and sisters of WoT Blitz Universe. You're watching WoT Blitz Addict again. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna talk about some unusual tank that has its pros and cons. But we're gonna talk about them in the game. So basically, it's T28 Prototype, the turreted American tank destroyer, T28 tank destroyer without, as you can see, with open roof. That means that you can get a cheat in it, but it's not that simple. But let's go and check all the equipment, consumables, and then we're gonna talk about the tank itself. So multi-purpose restoration pack as usual, repair kit and adrenaline. For provisions I'm using case of cola, improved fuel, and I'm using protective kit because it's a TD, it's worth it. 22 AP rounds, 11 APCR and 7 HE. Gun rammer, because the penetration is quite good. You can check it's almost like 250 mils, so it's enough. So I prefer have better reload, enhanced gun lane drive, vertical stabilizer, defense system because it's a TD, enhanced armor because armor is quite good, camouflage net, and improved control as you can go for the engine accelerator, but it won't really do much better, so I'm going for the traverse speed, it's better. So I would use toolbox for the last two, and enhanced consumables or consumable delivery system. It depends on your playstyle. I would go for hand consumables this time. And now let's look at the armor profile. As you can see, we're shooting from the Panther 2, the nice penetrating gun. You have 10 degrees of gun depression, and if you use it fully, as you can see, it's really hard to penetrate this tank frontally. If we switch to a heavy tank, let's say Tiger 2, situation is almost the same. It's really hard to penetrate this tank if it's positioned correctly. Even if it's not, as you can see, on even ground, the turret is a bit trollish. You have nice frontal armor, so and it's with calibrated shells. So you need to remember it's with calibrated shells on. So without them, it's gonna be even better. But if you wiggle your tank, you can side scrape a bit in this tank, but not over angle it. But if you wiggle your turret while you are backing up or angling your tank, you can bounce some shells from heavies, from mediums, from TDs sometimes also. But the rest of the armor, as you can see, is really paper, typical American armor. So the back and the sides are really weak. But the front armor, it's really good. I would say it's really good. It's reliable. It's not like you will bounce everything, but in the mid-range, in long range, or if you go hull down, it's really good armor profile. They need to use gold basically to penetrate you reliably, let's say, because then it's you can penetrate most of the tank. But let's look at the gameplay and let's talk about the tank itself. So the first game would be on Canal, and I'm tuning here with my amigo and my subscriber Martin Delange, and he's driving a T28 Defender, and this tank is great. But I hope I will get this tank soon as it will come back to store. But yeah, we're talking about the prototype. So as you can see, it has really great disadvantage of, if you see the Defender is way faster than prototype. Like fully grinded up, it's 20 kilometers per hour, nothing more, nothing less. Of course it's less when you're going uphill. If you're going downhill, don't really count on something more than I don't know, like 22 kilometers per hour. That's max you're gonna get. But as it comes for going uphill, as you can see, that's 8, 6, 10. It's struggling really. The main con of this tank is the mobility. It's really awful. Like 20 kilometers, like seriously, we're gaming in this meta we have with all those mats, with all those fast heavy tanks. Even heavies will be faster than me, like heavier lava will be faster than me. The VK is the same speed as I am, but VK is extremely armored, extremely heavy, and extremely versatile. And this, when I first got it, I said like, nope. I played few games and it was like total disaster due to its speed. Like the speed is not existing in this tank. Of course, the armor profile, as I told you, as I showed you in the armor inspector, is quite nice. I won't say it's bad, but the bad thing, really bad thing, is this basically this speed is just terrible. If you have team made of medium tanks, there's high chance you won't be on the battlefield at all. Like, they're gonna rush, kill everyone, or die before you will reach the front line. It's like you can play as a TD in some way because you're such a slow tank. Then you can follow your heavies and just push the heavy side and try to pretend you are a TD. A heavy tank, because the armor profile is kind of trollish. So it's you can stand against heavy tanks. You basically have similar armor, but as it comes from mobility, it's just terrible. And the gun is good. Like, it's a 400 alpha gun with nice reload time. When you're using gun rammer, as you can see, we have like 8.6, as I remember, seconds of reload time, which is really great for 400 alpha gun. And as I told you, when I first got it, I felt terrible. It really felt terrible. I just wanted to free XP it, but when I played it for quite a long time, because I already grinded it, but and also I've mastered it, and you will see the mastery after this review, because I wanted to talk about the tank itself before I will show you the mastery of my own in this tank. But yeah, I thought it will be just terrible, but it really isn't. It's really quite good tank. It's balanced. I would say it's balanced because it has weak sides, weak back, extremely, maybe not extremely, but look at this gun, look at the shot, just look at the shot. The gun is so accurate. It needs time to aim in, but it's accurate. It's really accurate, even though the dispersion shows that it's not. That also went in, by the way. Yeah, so the dispersion looks like you're not gonna just hit, but it hits straight where you aim, so it's great. But let's back to the tank itself. So it has many pros, like fast reloading, accurate gun, nice gun dispersion, and it has turrets, so it's more versatile, the turretless TD. But as I told you, the main downside of this tank is really the mobility, and I really would love Wargaming to simply buff the speed. It's like, give it even 25, 30. It's gonna be okay. Even with 25, I can live with 25, but 20, like, it's terrible. It's really terrible, because you don't have enough armor for such a bad speed. Traverse speed isn't great. The third traverse speed isn't great, but it's enough. It has to be balanced in some way, so that's okay. But the speed is just terrible, and it shouldn't be like this. Should have like at least 25 kilometers per hour speed. It would be way better than that, because otherwise this tank it can be useless. You can easily win or you can easily lose, because it depends really on your team. It's really team reliable. It's really team reliable. If you have bad team, you basically won't do nothing, because you won't be there on time. And you have to excuse my bit of toxicity, but KV4 or KV5, it was really a clown. Let's say he was a clown, simply. As you can see, we dealt most damage in this game, and we kind of carried it, but still we have some pro players, let's say unicoms, that say that everyone's a noob and more and everything, and they basically, this guy just was under my gun for several times, and I took a nice chunk out of his hit points. But you're gonna see over here, we're gonna have another game. I don't know if I was tuning in this game. I think I was playing alone. It's the second game I want to show you, because otherwise this review will be too long. And here we're gonna play more aggressively, more like a heavy tank kind of and it's basically, I feel it's kind of a play style of this tank, because it's too slow to sit at the back, because when you finally decide to move from your sniping position, you simply can't really relocate on time. So I'd rather go somewhere in the middle or somewhere when I can be useful than just sit back and trying to snipe, because gun is reliable, like you saw in the last game, but it's not that reliable that I'm sure I will hit the targets on the other side of the map. And basically it's really hard to sit at the back of the map, because as I told you, you won't be able to get to your team on time. As you can see, if you combine your traverse, turret traverse and hull traverse speed, you can just turn quite efficiently. So here we made some mistakes, like by giving shots to the one side and the other side, but we're gonna keep it nice and steady and low right now, because we don't have hit points. Just look at this. We were able to get with the T29 at that angle, but our teammates killed him before we were able to kill him. But still, it was a quite good decision. And the mobility is the worst. Like, the mobility is worse. It's worst than the worst tank ever is T28. Like, Proto is great tank when you compare T28 with the Proto. The Proto is just a mobile epic tank. The T28 is just pure hell. And we're gonna talk about this tank later, because I'm still grinding it, and it's really, really hard grind. You have to believe me, it's such a nasty grind. And as far as I know, T95 won't be better. It's only better ammo wise, but it's not any better in terms of mobility, so I think I will suffer. But at least it has armor. It has really, really good armor, and it can do such a nice stuff. But just, it's okay tank. Let's say it's an okay tank, and if you play it quite aggressively, because you can do pretty well in it. As you can see, we were able to clear another opponent from the red team. Now we're gonna clear this second one, and there's one more left. I know he will flank, but I blocked myself. This was a mistake. I blocked my front, as you can see, on this barrel, and I was trying to back up and didn't angle the tank, and got killed. But that's how it is. Sometimes you can survive, other times you can't, but you have to do your best. And basically that's all for this episode, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to my channel if you like my content. We're gaining more and more subscribers, which is great, and I really want to thank you guys, because I really appreciate your help. Because subscribing to my channel really matters to me and helps a lot with my with growing on my channel, and with making a new content. And you can join my Discord if you like. The link is in the description below. Take care, bye bye, and catch you all on the battlefield.